What if someone could enter a locked apartment, commit a murder, and disappear without breaking a single door or window? Today's story, The Locked Balcony, reveals how a hidden path turned a sealed space into the perfect crime scene. The apartment looked ordinary from the outside. A quiet building, familiar corridors, neighbors who barely spoke to each other. Nothing about that place suggested that a brutal crime had taken place inside. Yet when police received the call that morning, no one knew they were about to face one of the most confusing cases of their careers. The victim was found dead inside his own apartment. His body lay on the floor, showing clear signs of murder. But what stunned investigators was not just the killing itself, it was the condition of the apartment. The main door was locked from the inside. The windows were sealed shut. There were no broken locks, no shattered glass, no signs of forced entry. At first glance, it looked like an impossible crime. Police checked every corner of the apartment. They examined the locks carefully, tested the windows, and searched for hidden compartments or secret passages. Nothing. Everything was exactly how it should be. The apartment felt sealed, isolated from the outside world. It was as if the killer had vanished into thin air. Naturally, questions began to rise. How could someone enter a locked apartment, commit a murder, and leave without leaving a trace? Some investigators suspected the victim had known the killer and let them in. Others considered suicide, but the injuries made that theory collapse immediately. A few believed someone with a spare key might be involved, but there was no evidence to support it. Hours passed, and the case went nowhere. Every theory ended in a dead end. The apartment continued to guard its secret. Then attention turned to one small detail that initially seemed unimportant: the balcony door. Unlike the main door and windows, the balcony door was unlocked. At first, this didn't raise alarms. Many people leave their balcony doors open for air or light, but something about it felt wrong. The balcony did not connect to any staircase, fire escape, or ladder. It simply opened into open space. One investigator stepped outside onto the balcony and looked around. That's when the truth began to surface. Right next to the victim's balcony was another one, belonging to the neighboring apartment. The distance between them was shockingly small, just a narrow gap, easily crossable by someone determined and physically capable. No wall, no barrier, just empty air separating two homes. Suddenly, the mystery started to make sense. The killer hadn't entered from the hallway or the street. They hadn't broken in through doors or windows. They had come from next door. Police reconstructed the events carefully. The killer likely had legal access to the neighboring apartment, either lived there or knew someone who did. Late at night, when the building was quiet and most residents were asleep, the killer stepped onto the balcony, crossed the narrow gap, and entered the victim's apartment through the unlocked balcony door. The murder was carried out swiftly, no prolonged struggle, no loud noises. Afterward, the killer exited the same way, back across the balcony, leaving behind an apartment that appeared untouched and locked from the inside. It was the perfect illusion. This explained why neighbors heard nothing, why CCTV showed no suspicious entry, and why the doors and windows told no story. The killer had never used them. Once investigators focused on the adjacent apartment, the case shifted rapidly. New details emerged, inconsistent statements, unusual late-night movements, tiny clues that had once seemed irrelevant now carried weight. The killer was no longer an invisible shadow. They were next door all along. What makes this case truly disturbing is not its complexity, but its simplicity. No advanced tools, no dramatic escape, just observation, patience, and a path everyone else ignored. This crime delivered a chilling lesson. Locked doors do not always mean safety. Closed spaces can still hide dangerous routes. Balconies, rooftops, shared walls, these overlooked areas can become entry points for those who think differently. We trust locks because they make us feel secure, but criminals don't see spaces the way we do. They look for gaps, angles, and shortcuts. They notice what others dismiss. The locked balcony became the silent accomplice in this crime, not because it was open, but because no one believed it mattered. So the next time you lock your doors and close your windows, remember this story. Ask yourself not only what you have secured, but what you may have ignored. Because as this case proved beyond doubt, closed spaces still have hidden paths. This case reminds us that locked doors don't always mean safety. Hidden paths can exist where we least expect them. Stay aware, stay curious, and don't forget to subscribe for more real crime stories like this.